We are live. We are back. It is Thirsty Thursday. A happy one to you. Welcome to Cooperville Live. Happy to have you along with us on the show. I always wear a hoodie down here because it's cold in the studio, and then like get all sweaty and shit. But it's all good. Wherever you are tuned in, thank you. Facebook Live on the Welcome to Cooperville page, YouTube, Twitch, search No Limit Cooper on Twitch. Join the Twitch revolution. We're doing things on there. And on YouTube, it is the Cooperville page. So thank you. Thank you for joining. Feel free to interact in the comments. Questions are always welcome. We'll talk about a lot of things today. No guests scheduled. That changes tomorrow. If you are a part of our Patreon, which I will drop on you in the show notes and in the comments right now. Patreon subscribers know already who is going to be on the show tomorrow. I will tell you later on in today's program. C-Dubs finished what I do early. Welcome. Welcome back. Joe, there you go. Why not? It's Thirsty Thursday. It's okay. I'm of age. I'm of age by a couple of years, so it's fine. And I worked all day. Worked all day, come home, have a little something to eat, make a sandwich, go through the topics of the day. Ta-da! Come on the live show. That's my life. So you guys join us on Patreon. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff coming up there. The audio from the show is going to be moving to our Patreon subscribers. So if you missed the live stream, if you don't want to watch the video, you just want to listen to what's going on, you'll be able to just listen podcast style exclusively for those Patreon followers. So thank you. Keeping that free speech revolution going. It's a Jim Beam night tonight. I told you my Jim Beam story. First time I ever got drunk was on the Beam. Jimmy's on the YouTube watching. Jimmy K. Doing the things over at Everything Hemp. You know what look really good, Jimmy? Little Everything Hemp display right here. Or perhaps over here. Oh, let me bring the hand right there. Little shelf full of stuff. Just throwing ideas out there. Oh, we got lots to cover today. Lots to cover. World is crazy. It's getting crazier by the minute. But we're still here. That's the important part, right? And you are still here. And that's also the important part. Let's dump these beats down a little bit here. Yeah. I know, man. I know you will. Told Milo, I was supposed to call Milo last week, but then work and the show and get it home. No, I love that stuff. We've talked about hemp so much on this show. It's nuts. We even had the Jonathan Wickman, the 2022 gubernatorial candidate, on talking about weed. Talking about keeping it local. I was like, I know some guys doing it the right way. Everything Hemp LLC. Check them out if you're watching the show, wherever you're watching it from. They got the good stuff in the CBD world right now. All right, let's get to this. It was a good day. Man, we got 40 degrees here today. I love it. I love it. By the way, if you're an Xbox, if you do the Xbox thing, maybe you're on the Twitch and you're a gamer and you do Xbox things. Xbox Live is down. My son is freaking out somewhere. He's just like, why won't it work? Dad, I can't get into my Xbox Live. That's good. Do your schoolwork. But this is actually a global thing. This comes from The Verge. Just posted a little while ago. Microsoft's Xbox Live service down right now, preventing users from signing in. And the problem started around 2:15 local time, 3:15 Eastern, depending on where you're watching. I'm not sure what time it is in Malaysia, there, C-dubs, but I think it's early in the morning over there, right? It's tomorrow there. It's crazy. But yeah, Microsoft has confirmed it is investigating the outage. We are aware that users may not be able to sign into Xbox Live at the time, says Xbox support, but the team is currently investigating to fix the issue. Gamers, man, freaking out. Freaking out. Can't get into my Xbox Live, man. Seems like a hack job. That's like my automatic response. Anytime something goes down. Yeah, YouTube a few weeks before, right? Yeah, that happened. Remember that happening. And then what was it? Like, for some reason, like everybody got signed out of Facebook a couple weeks ago too. Hackers, man. Hackers. Ariel, what's up? Down in Illinois. Illinois. I'm sorry. We put the S on there just to be assholes. We love Illinois. Love it. A rat got into the system room. Yeah. You never know. It feels like hackers, though. Totally feels like hackers got in and shut down Xbox. Just see how, like, gamers just want a game, man. Just leave them alone. Let them game. Smoke a little joint, play a little Xbox, live the dream. Now they can't. Now they have to do it the old way. Can't play online. You got to just play by yourself. Can't play with your buddies. Sad shit. So if you're an Xboxer, one who plays the Xbox Live, fear not, because Xbox support is working on it. You can follow them on Twitter at Xbox support. They'll keep you up to date with all the new stuff. All the new stuff, man. What's going on? Oh, it was a crazy day today. Crazy day. Where do you want to start? I don't even know. I found this. I think this was on my. Let me pull up this news feed here. That's where I found this one. Yeah. Fuck the hackers, man. Fuck them. Well, we've talked about a lot of things this week. Mr. Potato Head is no more. No more. No mas. Hasbro, the creators of Mr. Potato Head, this comes from WHDH.com, which I'm sure is a TV station somewhere. Probably find out. Channel 7 News. I don't know where it's out of. But anyway, Hasbro created confusion on Thursday when it removed the gender from its Mr. Potato Head brand, but not from the actual toy. The company, which has been making the potato-shaped plastic toy for nearly 70 years, I mean, who didn't have a Mr. Potato Head? Maybe some of you youngsters in here haven't, but everybody had a Mr. Potato Head. And after like the first week, it was missing something. Like, oh, where's the ear? Like, I don't know. You always missed parts, but you could still piece them together, Got the blue hat that went on and the mustache and the glasses. It's good times, man. You have to shove everything in the back. Mr. Potato Head. It announced Thursday morning it was dropping Mr. from the brand in order to make sure that all feel welcome in the Potato Head world. So, they have taken the Mr. off of Mr. Potato Head. So now it's just Potato Head. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a Mrs. Potato Head, right? There's a Mr. Potato Head and there's a Mrs. Potato Head, right? Like there's both, right? Okay. I'm trying to piece this all together in real time. Again, I read the headline, I read the story. So they will no longer, on the branding of the packaging, If you go to buy a Mr. Potato Head, it will no longer say Mr. Potato Head. It will just say Potato Head. Later in the afternoon, Hasbro clarified in a tweet that the Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head characters will still exist, names and all, but the branding on the box will say Potato Head. They say, quote, while it was announced today that the Potato Head brand name and logo will be dropping Mr., I'm proud to confirm that Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head aren't going anywhere. They will remain Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, the company tweeted. So here's what happened. They send out this ambiguous tweet that says, no longer is it Mr. Potato Head, it's just Potato Head. Because we are going to be some sort of equality thing, even though there's a Mrs. Potato Head. And if you have them both, you can kind of, you want to intertwine them, you know, Mr. Potato Head with, you know, long hair. Oh, good, Jimmy. Whew. You know, you're the first person I thought of, buddy. When I saw Xbox Live was down, I'm like, damn it, Jimmy, what is he going to do? I hope he's surviving. It's good. I'm glad. So they came out and they said, no more Mr. Potato Head. We're going to rebrand it and change it. And then the fury, the people came out and said, what in the fuck are you doing? You got the Mr., you got the Mrs. Balance. You want to come out with something that's both great. Call that Potato Head. Then you can make it whatever you want. And everybody's happy. I don't know that they expected the firestorm of people being like, knock it off. Just knock it off. What the fuck is right, Joe? What? Like, besides Toy Story, like Mr. Potato Head is obviously it's still around. I think I even got one for my kid at one point as a Christmas or birthday or something, a random Tuesday gift. But it's not like people aren't rioting and picketing about the fact that there's a Mr. Potato Head, right? People aren't doing that, right? Should just be Potato Head. But there's a Mrs. It should both just be just be Potato Head. In Malaysia, you call someone a potato head, that means you're calling them idiots. You know, calling Hasbro idiots. Oh, that's funny. But then they kind of backtracked. You see that? They kind of backtracked. Like they released this, no more Mr. Potato Head, it's just Potato Head. Like, oh, wait. What we meant is on the box, it's going to say Potato Head, but there'll still be, you know, because it's the box and you can still see what's inside. You'll be able to get a Potato Head that is male or the Potato Head that is female. And again, to reiterate, we're talking about a child's toy, a plastic child's toy. Yeah. I had 70 years. 70 years, and Mr. Potato Head will no longer be called Mr. Potato Head. It will just strictly be Potato Head. We just can't have nice things, people. Just can't have nice things. The mob says we can't have nice stuff. You can't have a Mr. Potato Head and a Mrs. Potato Head. You just got to have a potato head. No more dicks on the potato. Nope, no more. You can't put the hand where the pants hole is anymore. I've done that. That has happened. What are you doing? Just nothing. Sad. We got Ariel. I hear a song called Mr. Potato Head or Mr. I feel like there is. I feel like somebody should come up with that. We have a lot, and this is a little tease, a little preview. We have a lot of artists, musicians coming on next week. Like it is loaded. Like I think we have 7 as of right now guests on the show next week from all genres, from country to rock to hip hop. I mean, we just got musicians Everybody jumping on, man. It's gonna be great. Looking forward to it. But perhaps that's a suggestion. Like, you got some time, right? You're not touring, you're not doing any shows right now. Write a song about Mr. Potato Head. Yeah. Do it in the stylings of, I don't know, Sweet Caroline or something. Just throwing ideas out there, people. I'm just throwing ideas out there. Here's some news I'm sure that will upset people. Maybe not in the same way that Potato Head has risen the controversy level. It's Potato Head. You're going to make that mistake too. If anybody has to, for some odd reason, Jimmy, deal with a Mr. Potato Head. Be like, oh shit, we can't call it that anymore. It's just Potato Head. My bad. Can't be doing that stuff. You got to call it by its real name. Now that name is Potato Head. Don't you forget it. So, if you were alive in the 90s and had MTV, you probably remember Beavis and Butthead, Mike Judge's creation. Beavis and Butthead have announced that they are making another movie. Remember Beavis and Butthead Do America? I do. I remember. The iconic characters themselves revealed the news in a short clip shared online this week. The film will be a follow-up to Beavis and Butthead Do America, which came out in 1996. Rather than go the theater route for the new flick, the sequel will be released on Paramount Plus, the studio's upcoming streaming service, soon to take over for CBS All Access. Do we have that video? Can we play that? Let's see if we can roll with this. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we'll find out.
Hello? Hello, do we have everybody?
No, they're doing it on Zoom.
Butthead here. Damn it, David, I'm right here. Oh, yeah. There you are. So, we're making a movie. And it's going to be on Paramount Plus. You said mount.
Paramount Plus. Beavis and Butthead movie. Does it say when it's coming out? I don't know if it does. No, it doesn't. It doesn't give an exact date, but I might. Who knows? I don't know. That was the video they released to talk about their new movie that's coming out. So perhaps, probably, I'm just helping spread the word. Beavis and Butthead are back and giving a shameless plug to Paramount Plus, giving them free love. Download the Paramount Plus app. I was throwing that in there for just safety's sake. So I mean that news came out today. Now it's weird to me that in this day and age that Beavis and Butthead, of all the characters, are coming back, because it feels like there's going to be like an outrage, because perhaps if you know Beavis and Butthead, perhaps some of their antics were offensive to you. Maybe they weren't because you're an adult, but maybe they were. So it's an interesting time for Beavis and Butthead to be making a comeback. But I love the play. I love it. Mike Judge, man, doing the damn thing. So new Beavis and Butthead movie coming out, Paramount Plus. Download the app today. I don't think it comes out till March. They had a big Super Bowl campaign about that, right? Big Super Bowl campaign about Paramount Plus. New streaming service with a bunch of shows and I'm sure original content. That's the future, man. Future of streaming. You haven't noticed that yet. Like cable companies trying to like, no, I don't know. Don't people want to just have cable television? No, we don't. Does anybody in the chats or in the conversation here? Anybody still have like regular cable television? Like, is that still a thing? I don't know. I cut the cord a couple of years ago. You know, if I need live TV, you know, there's Hulu Live. Otherwise, man, Netflix or Amazon Prime. Ariel doesn't have it. Nope. That's the future, man. You're just going to be able to get everything. Ask your robot and it will deliver it to you. That's the world we live in. You know, before it all implodes. Before the robots take over. I'm kidding. That would never happen. Smart TV. Yeah. Cable's ridiculous. I'm trying to remember what the number was, but it was like $100 and some a month I saved by dropping cable and going with like Hulu Live. I mean, even combined with like Hulu and Netflix. I mean, Amazon Prime, obviously. Like $100 and some a month. You know, $1,200 plus a year. Just by not succumbing to the force-fed cable. Will not do it. No. It's crazy to think, though. It's crazy to think, you know, as a kid and having like 5 channels, you know. My mom had 5 channels, like maybe 3, actually. And then my dad had like cable. So going to dad's like, oh my gosh. And all the good channels, too, if you know what I'm saying. Cinemax After Dark. Yeah, all that stuff. Had all that shit. But even then, like programming, like shows, you would have to actually schedule out time of your day, like at 7 o'clock on Tuesdays. I like this show, and that's when it's on. That's the only time I can watch it. And then once it's done, you never got to see it again. It was done. Maybe they ran reruns during the off season, but like the odds of you catching that episode were slim. Nowadays, you want to watch a show, you sit down and watch the whole damn thing. You know, unless they're doing like a Disney Plus thing where they do like a once a week release, but still, even that, you can watch it at your leisure. It's a crazy world we live in. On demand, man. Lived in the country, just antenna TV. Yep, remember that? Yep. Had some of that shit growing up. And we're putting like aluminum foil or tin foil if you had like rabbit ears or you had like the metal antenna. We can almost get the channel. Almost. Turn it to the left. Yeah. Then satellite was going to be the thing. Satellite was going to take over. Now we're like, fuck it. Fiber optics, man. And everybody's home. Everything. Ultra high def. The signal comes through the air. You know, we put our minds to it. We can accomplish anything. Right? That's what Marty McFly's dad told him. Put your mind to it. You can accomplish anything. Landing on Mars. We got TV signals flying through the air. 5G. I know. I'm going to start with 5G. You know, I haven't done my full research on 5G, but here it's messing with people's brains, man. Tinfoil hats and stuff. We gotta be prepared. It's all right. I got my I don't need 5G yet. I'm still rolling on the LTE network, you know? Yeah. Not a good day. Oh, what else we got going on in the news here? This is interesting. You know, you don't really think about states much, do you? I mean, you think about states, but you don't think like, I mean, you kind of think of like Wisconsin. You think, okay, I know the shape of the state. Like, I get it. I mean, you know, all the states, you kind of have a general idea of what they look like as far as their borders, their shape. You never really consider that fact that it could change. Like if you live in Wisconsin, we have questions like why don't we own the UP? Why don't we own the Upper Peninsula? I don't understand. Should be ours. We're connected by land. But, Michigan. Whatever. It's fine. It's weird up there though. It's weird up there because like pot's legal in Michigan. Like recreational, right? And Wisconsin's not. And there's basically like a city that sits on the border. Well, there's obviously many cities, but it's like you go under a bridge and you're like, oh, we're in Michigan. We can smoke pot here. Again, I don't smoke pot, but I'm just saying. It's weird. Feel like we should own that. So I'm in Minnesota too, but that's neither here nor there. But 5 Oregon counties, like how bad is shit in Oregon? It's pretty rough. It's pretty bad out there. 5 counties in Oregon are voting on leaving the state and escaping to what they want to call Greater Idaho. So they want to secede from the state of Oregon, 5 counties, and basically become a part of Greater Oregon. Antenna and streaming. See, Jimmy just needs to get you get the news channel. And that's all you need, man. Then you got the streaming. But yeah, so you got 5 counties in the state of Oregon that want to leave the state of Oregon and then join up with Idaho, because Idaho's got their shit together and potatoes. What do you need? To form Greater Idaho. I didn't even know you could do that. Like that's an option? This story comes from the Washington Times. Story says 5 Oregon counties will ask voters in the next election whether they want to detach from the deep blue state and join neighboring red state Idaho. Move Oregon's Borders, also known as Greater Idaho, confirmed Tuesday that the initiative to move swaths of largely rural eastern and southern Oregon into Idaho qualified for the May 18th special election ballot in 5 counties: Baker, Grant, Lake, Muller, and Sherman. Like they're going to vote on this in May. Like it's bad there. Like Portland? What the fuck's going on in Portland? It's still wild in Portland. Still. Nobody's talking about it though. Like you got to really dig to find stories of shit that's going on in Portland, Oregon. It's so bad that you have 5 counties in your state that are like, fuck it, I'm out. We're going to vote. We're going to vote because we want to join Idaho. Shouldn't that make you take a step back and say, wow, we really need to talk about what's going on? We got counties that want to leave our state and join Idaho. I did. Live remote from the juke joint, man. Back in the day. Indeed, Jimmy. Memories. But it blows my fucking mind. Like you're in Oregon, right? Probably at one point proud to be. Or you probably rooted for the Ducks. You're like, yeah. Just like Wisconsin, we all root for the Badgers. Like nobody went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. We're like, yeah, go Bucky. Not nobody, but you know what I'm saying. We're like, I gotta watch that Badger game. How you feel about that Badger basketball team? They suck, by the way. Like you didn't go. Nobody went to school there. There's like 4 people. So really, I mean, you really have to be smart to go to Madison. Super smart. What do super smart people do after they graduate? They get the fuck out. That's what they do. Except for like 4 people. But we're all like, go Badgers. So you imagine in Oregon, no matter what county you lived in, if the Ducks did well, you're like, yeah. Or the Trailblazers, you're like, yeah. Go team. But shit has gotten so bad and so divided in Oregon that people are like, hey, Idaho. There's that meme that's now used for everything where it's like the guy walking hand in hand with his girlfriend and there's like another girl walking the other way and the guy's like turned around like, what? Like, that's it. That's like the guy is these 5 counties. The girl is the state of Oregon and the chick going the other way is Idaho. And they're like, what's up, Idaho? And it's not just a clever name. What's up? Like, you look good. We're leaving. We're out. Where do you live? Greater Idaho. Interesting. Yikes. They got the signatures to put this on the frickin' ballot. The president, Mike McCarter of Move Oregon's Border, said in a statement, quote, Oregon is a powder keg because of counties that belong in red states like Idaho are ruled by Portlanders. Portlanders? I don't know, one of the two. Do your thing, C-Dubs. Appreciate you jumping on, always. I know. I'm full of interesting shit, man. I just read the news and I'm like, wait, this is messed up. I've never, okay, I got to be fair. I've never been to Idaho. I don't know much about it. Like, you don't really hear much about Idaho. You know, you see like Idaho potatoes. Like, that's all you see. Like, that's all that's really talked about. I'm sure it's a beautiful place. But like, you have counties, you have people in these counties in Oregon that are like, it is so crappy here. We would rather not live in this state rather than actually pick our stuff up and move. All the residents of those 5 counties. I mean, you could. That's an option. People in California doing that all the time. In record numbers, they're leaving California because the politics suck. Lockdowns, Governor Newsom, all this stuff. They're out. They're like, we're leaving. We're going to Texas. Texas is like, wait a minute. Don't be bringing all your California bullshit here. But instead of that, instead of just packing your shit and moving because you no longer want to live in Oregon, you have these 5 counties and all the residents that are like, we're going to vote to leave the state and become part of Idaho. It's a thing. It's happening. It's real. Man, it's wild. Yeah, I know. We're running on that Spectrum internet, Jimmy, which you'll hear that in 8 minutes. It's that slow internet service. It's that latency. It's got 8 minutes of delay. It's live-ish. It's probably Big Brother at work making sure I don't say anything stupid and they can shut me off. It's the old 7-second delay in radio that never really existed. Moms? What's up, Mom? Welcome. Just talking about California. Talking about people leaving California in record numbers, going to Texas. And then Texas gets all the snow. And Texans are like, what the fuck, man? All you Californians come here, we get snow. I just can't believe. I mean, it blows my mind that we are at a spot in this country where you have counties in a state that want to leave and no longer be a part of that state. And Idaho, I'm sure Idaho's great, but like, well, we could. No, we're definitely not moving south. We're definitely not connecting to California. No. Idaho. I'm telling you that meme is like spot on. I feel like I should take a break and create that. I'm sure it's been done. Somebody must have thought of that. I can't be the first one. What's up, Idaho? How you doing? Want to hook up? Become part of Greater Idaho? We're gonna change the name of a state Idaho, Greater Idaho. We're going to redraw all the maps if this goes through. All the globes, all the textbooks. I mean, do they still have textbooks in school? I think it's all online now. It's a pretty easy fix. Just but they're done. They're done, man. They're done with the craziness going on in Oregon. They want to move. Not even move. They just want to redraw the lines. I'll go to England to see my favorite YouTuber. There. Alabama is the place for me. No, it's in the Army, not Alabama. Who knows? That's wild to me. It's just wild. Mr. Potato Head's dead, and we're about to have Greater Idaho. As Phil Collins and Genesis would say, this is the world we live in. These are the hands we are given. I just can't. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Nah. Anyway, this is a local story, but I'll share it with all you because I know that we are global. Man, at least we're national. We're in the States. But this happened in this is just a wild story. From Cornell, Wisconsin. A Western Wisconsin firefighter in critical condition after a firearm discharge at the scene of a fire. This is from weau.com. Cornell Area Fire Department Chief Dennis Kloss says the Cornell and Sheldon fire departments were called to a structure fire in the township of Willard on Friday, February 19th. He says the Cornell Fire Department responded with 2 water tenders, manpower, including a 35-year-old Justin Fredrickson. Fredrickson is a 16-year veteran of the Cornell Fire Department. As Fredrickson was operating a hose line outside of the structure, a loaded firearm inside of the structure discharged. The bullet traveled through an exterior wall and hit him in the stomach. What? The gunfire due to heat conditions caused by the fire, not the intentional actions of a person. Thank you for clarifying that. Like there's someone inside the burning house shooting outside. Thank you. I'm glad we got that's journalistic genius right there. Sheldon EMS started caring for Fredrickson at the scene. He was taken to a Ladysmith hospital. He was then airlifted to Mayo Clinic in Eau Claire, and he underwent surgery. As of Tuesday night, his Fredrickson required a second surgery with a third scheduled soon. He is currently listed in critical condition. That's wild. Like you're fighting a fire, a structure fire, right? And you're outside holding the hose, working the hose, spraying water, trying to put the fire out. And there's a gun inside. And because of the heat, the firearm discharges, goes through a wall and goes into your stomach. That is like, I mean, the odds. I hope this brave man is going to be okay. That is just wild. I have nothing but respect for police and fire, all of our military, all of our veterans. Rocking that grunt style hoodie. Got the AK and the Black Rifle Coffee cap here. But man, you're out doing your job. And completely random act. Just conditions and location. I mean, if he's a foot to the left, a foot to the right, nothing. Probably had a what the fuck was that? But damn, that is just wild. That shit is just wild. Man. But we'll give you an update on the show when we see one come across on Fredrickson's condition. Again, that happened last Friday, and then he had a surgery on. I'm sure surgery right away. Another surgery on Tuesday, and then who knows, man? That's just blows the mind is what it does, man. It's crazy. We are going to take a short break. We'll be back. Got much more to get to, including Punky Brewster's back. Who knew? Lady Gaga's dog walker gets shot and her 2 French bulldogs are stolen. I used to have a Frenchie. It was stolen from me as well, but different kind of context. And I don't know if you heard the story about the ex-USA gymnastics coach who just committed suicide in Michigan after like 24 charges came down against him. It's wild stuff, wild stories, and we'll get to them all coming up in 5 minutes. Stand by. And we're back, Cooperville Live, back on all of the channels, including Facebook Live, including YouTube, including Twitch. Welcome to Cooperville page on Facebook. Cooperville, if you search for that on YouTube, you can subscribe and follow. Please do that as we grow our YouTube army. And also on Twitch, at No Limit Cooper on Twitch. So if you have a Twitch app, No Limit Cooper, that's the jam, man. That's where the magic happens. We've also joined Patreon. We're doing a bunch of cool stuff on there, exclusive insider stuff, like all the Patreon patrons. I believe they're called the patrons of Cooperville Live now know who's going to be on the show tomorrow. We'll talk about that later on in this show, but you get that stuff first. You get some behind the scenes stuff, views of the studio, some one-on-one things. We're going to be doing live streams exclusively on Patreon. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of cool stuff for those. So you can join. Just put the link in all of the comment sections on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. So you can go and pick a tier, any tier, and we'll get you some exclusive stuff. We got some other cool things we're working on. We got our cool stuff. So become a member. Join the free speech revolution while we still can. And if for some reason they ever do decide to kick us off off of the platforms, we'll be on Patreon, or we'll build our own thing. Who knows? Well, we're good so far. We're talking about just stuff that's in the news. So we'll make that happen. This is a crazy story. This comes from NBC News, but I heard about it earlier today. Actually, on my way home from work. It was on Sports Talk Radio. Former U.S. gymnastics coach dies by suicide after arrest on sex crime charges in Michigan. This is wild. Remember the whole Larry Nassar thing? Larry Nassar was the gymnastics, like one of the trainers, and he was busted for all sorts of just horrific stuff a couple of years ago. So he had, this guy, John Geddert, police found the body of a former U.S. gymnastics coach who had ties to disgraced Dr. Larry Nassar hours after he was criminally charged in Michigan on Thursday. State police troopers found the body of the man, John Geddert, who died by suicide in a rest area off an interstate at 3:24 p.m. Eastern in Grand Ledge, Michigan, said a spokesman for Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel. The investigation is ongoing. No further details will be released at this time, according to a police statement. Dude's attorney could not immediately be reached for comment. Geddert had agreed to surrender to a sheriff's office Thursday before 2:15 p.m. Never showed up. Nessel says this is a tragic end to a tragic story for everyone involved. Geddert hold the U.S. women's gymnastics team at the 2012 Summer Olympic Games in London and was charged with 20 counts of human trafficking and forced labor resulting in injury, 1 count of racketeering, 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct, and 1 count of lying to police, according to a state criminal complaint filed in Eaton County. This is a bad person, a horrible person. And so, I mean, you see, he gets charged with 24, is that 24? 21, 24 counts against him today. And he agrees to turn himself into the sheriff's department. He's probably on his way there. He pulls off at a rest stop, takes his life. You know, it's a shame that he decided to go that route, because I think everyone would be in agreement that when he got to fucking prison and prisoners knew who he was and what he was charged with and what he was associated with, namely Larry Nassar, that motherfucker would have got what's coming to him. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. But unfortunately, the story ends there. Just ridiculous. I don't even want to get into some of the details here. It's just, I don't know. When that whole Larry Nassar thing came out, I remember going, Jesus, I mean, all these, you watch these athletes, these Olympic gymnasts, and you're just in amazement of how gifted and talented they are. And they're like teenagers. And you're like, geez, the amazing strength, coordination, the things that they can do. And you're like, wow, this is just, and it's, they start super young and, there's a lot of question marks about that, but I mean, you see what happens. If that child is into that and they have a gift, they go on, they win Olympic gold medals, it's just wild. But then that Larry Nassar story came out and you're like, my God, the shit that they had to go through is just unfathomable. And, you feel for all the victims, obviously, and you feel for, it's, and now it's got to be tough to be associated with U.S. gymnastics, women's gymnastics. It's got to be tough to even like be tied with that, just because the Larry Nassar thing kind of peaked and then it kind of went back down, and then this whole thing comes back up. But it's got to be tough to be associated with that program because, you hope investigation after investigation after investigation, and then they clarify some things, and then we get good people in there doing the right thing. And man, how many years? I mean, Nassar was in there forever. Was he Penn State? I think he was. Penn State is just ringing in my head as at the university he was at, but then obviously worked with the Olympic team. Yeah. And so Brian Games, yeah, I mean, it does. Bad reputation for a long, long time. It is fucking disgusting. It's just, and it's, and those, they're so talented. I mean, it is incredible the things that they can do. And not just in the United States. I mean, you watch, when you watch the Olympics, you're like, wow, the training, the dedication. I can't, it's a struggle to get my kid to brush his teeth. I'm like, come on, man. You don't want to be, well, I have a mask now. I don't want to be going anywhere with this. No, brush your teeth. Like, that's a challenge. But these kids are just dedicated. Like, they're on. They get up and they breathe. Everything gymnastics. Yeah, I was just talking about that, Brian. I was just talking about the Larry Nassar. This guy is tied in, has ties with Larry Nassar in the U.S. gymnastics programs. That's why I'm bringing up the Nassar thing. Yeah, but I was talking about him too. But I mean, the dedication to, I mean, it's, they do some schooling. Yeah, they have some schooling stuff, but it is all gymnastics all the time. Training and, weight training and all of the things, flying here, flying there, going to regionals, going to nationals, going to world championships, all the stuff. It is a team dedicated, man. And they got to fucking deal with that shit. Ugh. Like I said, took his own life, but you want guys like that to go to prison. You do. I mean, in a very, you do. Okay, let's cut the shit. You do. You're like, come on, send that guy up the river and see what happens. And then we want reports, man. We'll report some inside. I'm just saying. Craziness. How about something lighter? We've come to live in a world where we have ease and convenience at our fingertips. Like, we don't have to leave the house anymore. Okay, let me rephrase it. You need to leave the fucking house. Get outside, get some fresh air. I don't care. Go and do it. Interact with human beings. Don't lose that aspect of humanity. But there's ease and convenience at our fingertips. And even not even so much at our fingertips now. We just yell it in the air and our robot goes and does it for us. Like, hey, and I won't say because there'll be some yelling. Hey, robot, order me a pizza. Refill my XYZ order. I'm out of this. And it's crazy, right? All the restaurants and stuff, the ones that hadn't jumped on it already, delivery service and DoorDash and Eat Street, Uber Eats. You don't have to drive anywhere anymore. You just call an Uber. Humans are social creatures. Robots can simulate social interactions, but not enough, in my opinion. No, I'm with you. Don't worry, gato, Mr. Roboto. But we do have conveniences, and we're basically, and this is I think this is a Rogan thing. I've heard others say it as well. We're basically already cyborgs. Like, people are worried about getting the chip in them. You have a chip. It's just not in you yet, right? It's right here. It's in your hand at all times, or in your pocket at all times. But anyway, there's definitely been some conveniences that, people enjoy. Like, I can't go to restaurants, or they're at capacity right now because they're only working at 25%, all this stuff. But now, the DoorDash convenience store is coming soon. They're starting this in, where are they starting this? Is it in Des Moines? Yeah, Des Moines, Iowa. So, DoorDash launching Dash Mart in Des Moines, the company's very own online convenience store, company officials say. So here's basically what they're going to be able to do. So they're opening a warehouse to meet its rapid delivery goal, and they're going to deliver thousands of products to residents' doorsteps within 30 minutes. Imagine this now. And I think there are some places, like, I know, like, if you're in Wisconsin, like Quick Trip will, I'm not sure if it's DoorDash or if it's Uber Eats or whoever, but you can order stuff like there. But just imagine that. You're like, I got to run to the gas station. I need these couple of things and whatever. Now you just get on the DoorDash app, and it'd be super cool if they had like a virtual aisle. Because that's usually when you're at a gas station or a convenience store, it's usually how if you're hungry, you're kind of just perusing the aisles and stuff, like, beef jerky looks good, or maybe some chips, maybe an energy drink. Imagine if you could virtually, like, go through the aisle, be like, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. Under 30 minutes, they'll deliver these things from the Dash Mart, the DoorDash convenience store. This is launching in Des Moines. Super cool. Let's say it's Friday night. You had a couple of cocktails. You're like, shoot, really could go for some sour cream and onion chips. And I don't really eat like crap, so I'm throwing things out there. Like, it sounds good. Just take that virtual walk through the aisles. Like, all of a sudden, you're like $100 later. You're like, oh shit. You don't have to leave the house. No. It's crazy. It's just crazy where we're coming. Amazon's got that same day delivery stuff in some areas, especially if you're in a metro area. They got that kind of stuff. Thank God I'm in a relationship right now, but you can imagine dating during COVID times. It just seems harder to make genuine connections when Netflix and chill is your only option. Yeah, it's not wrong. We were just talking about that. What were we talking about yesterday? Getting Fauci'd? Getting Fauci'd is now a thing. It's a verb now. Got Fauci'd. It's when you, what is it? You try dating somebody, but they have different beliefs in the pandemic. You Fauci him. It's like ghosting, but you're Fauciing him. I don't know. It's wild. Worked out for me though. I'm cool with it. Like success. People are signing up for DoorDash and only picking up their deliveries, so DoorDash pays them to pick up their food only. Yeah. I know we're living in a convenient world, man. Everything is super easy to get at. I talked about, I think Punky Brewster is coming back to television. Let me grab that story quick. For those of you who are youngsters in the room, Punky Brewster was on, hell, when the hell was that? I remember watching Punky Brewster when she was like a kid. That had to be the 80s, right? I think it was the 80s. Yeah, it had to have been 80s. Punky Brewster is back. We know this is according to this is entertainment.com. We know TV has a lot to offer. Network cable, premium channels, streaming platforms, including Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, and others. EW, Entertainment Weekly is here guiding you through every single day. So really, they're just giving that was just an open. Where's the Punky Brewster thing? Punky Brewster with Soleil Moon Frye and her best friend Sherry are back. New adventures in Peacock's revival of Punky Brewster. Doesn't say when Punky Brewster was on a long ass time ago, and Soleil Moon Frye was post Punky Brewster on the original show, and they actually brought her back like 30 years later to be on the revival on Peacock, which is I think that's NBC's streaming platform, Peacock. It sounds dirty, but it's not. Okay. Keep it PG for the children. Right? Yeah. So Punky Brewster's back. Also announced today is that Frasier is coming back. He's back in the building, and Kelsey Grammer is back as well. Paramount Plus, this is their second plug today. We talked about Beavis and Butthead movie on Paramount Plus, and now Frasier is back. Baby, I hear the blues are calling. What was it? Chopped salad and scrambled eggs. Dr. Frasier Crane, revival of Frasier officially headed to Paramount. Viacom CBS, soon to be rebranded streaming service, with the sitcom's original star Kelsey Grammer set to reprise his role as the psychiatrist. Grammer said in a statement that he, quote, gleefully anticipates sharing the next chapter and continuing the journey of Dr. Frasier Crane. A spinoff of Cheers, the original series aired on NBC from 1993 to 2004, and followed Frasier's return to Seattle, where he reunited with his brother and father while working as a radio host. The critically acclaimed show won Emmys for a comedy series for its first 5 seasons. That's exciting. I love Frasier. I thought Frasier was great. And my dad was a huge Cheers fan. Like, legit, every time Cheers was on, we watched Cheers. Reruns of Cheers. We had a fucking Cheers board game at one point. Norm! Yeah. So I knew the whole backstory in Frasier from Boston in the Cheers days. Sam Malone, Woody, Carla, all that. Cheers. Yeah. Norm and Cliff Clavin. Cliff Clavin, the postman. Yeah. Bringing back some memories now. And then Frasier obviously went that. I mean, how cool was that? You have this great show, Cheers. Spinoff is Frasier. That's literally unheard of nowadays, really. A show that runs for 11 seasons, 11 years. It's crazy. And now, a mere 16 years later, it's coming back. I guess that is kind of the cool part about all these streaming services being available. I mean, you've seen what Netflix has been able to do. And nobody gave Netflix a chance in the beginning, and all of a sudden it's I mean, they're making blockbuster films, blockbuster series. You know, television went through that too. Where all, you know, no like movie actors wanted to be on network TV because like it was like, wow, it's shitty network TV. Now network TV looks like major blockbuster films, and you can do all these big crazy things. And Netflix like took it totally next level, and obviously the on-demand thing, but they were the start of this big streaming revolution. Peacock and Paramount Plus and Hulu and YouTube Live and Apple TV. Everybody's in on it, man. Everybody's in on it. But it has given, I think, rise to a lot of these shows coming back. Punky Brewster's coming back. Beavis and Butthead are coming back. Frasier's coming back. Now, it could be one of two things. We could be just out of fucking ideas. Like, how about another CSI? I miss the original CSI. CSI Las Vegas. That was the best. But they're able to bring back these series because the amount of people watching actual network TV has to be like just, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you outside of a sporting event, Super Bowl, Packer games. It's pretty much it. The last time I actually watched live television or a network show. I don't. Like I was watching the Super Bowl and I'm seeing previews for all these shows and I'm like, but I have to wait to watch it? No. I want it now. I want to watch it now. But that's cool. CBS All Access will be rebranded to Paramount Plus March 4th. So I don't know if the actual show will be starting on that day as well, but I wonder if Niles Crane comes back. That's a good question. Does Niles come back? Hope so. The brother. I think the dad passed away in one of the later episodes of Frasier. I think. Don't quote me on that if you're a huge Frasier fan watching and you're just being quiet in the comments right now. But I think that the dad passed away on the show. Now what else is going on here? Apparently McDonald's is there's words that you don't typically see together, right? Like McDonald's and secretive intel team. Like, wait, what? McDonald's has a secret intel team? This is according to Vice. McDonald's collects strategic intelligence on workers advocating for $15 an hour minimum wage, including how and where will FF15 attack the brand. For years, McDonald's has internally labeled activists and employees working on the Fight for 15 campaign as a security threat and has spied on them, Motherboard has learned. McDonald's says that this work is designed to identify protests that could put crew and customer safety at risk. The fast food giant's secretive intelligence unit. I want you to remember the next time you're at the McDonald's drive-thru, like they have a secretive intelligence unit. That's wild. The secretive intelligence unit just blows my mind. Has monitored its own workers' activities with the movement, which seeks to increase minimum wage to $15 an hour, including by using social media monitoring tools, accessing two sources who worked at McDonald's who had direct knowledge of the surveillance and leaked documents that explain the surveillance strategy and tactics. A team of intelligence analysts in the Chicago and London offices keep an eye on the active fights for $15. Labor organizers across the world figure out which McDonald's workers are active in the movement and who they are working with to organize strikes, protests, or attempt to form unions. So you have McDonald's workers being spied on if they're a part of this Fight for 15 movement, trying to get minimum wage up to $15 an hour. They're spying, they're just keeping an eye on them. But the fact that McDonald's has a secretive intelligence unit seems a little, But I get it. You know, Dollar menu is going to go away like that, peeps. Where's the dollar menu? We don't have that anymore. That is gone. How much is that Big Mac? $14? All the deals you see, like 2 for $5, all that shit, that's going away, people. That is going away. That's a heads up. Be prepared. And how about this? Eat healthier. Just eat healthier and you'll be fine. You'll feel better too. You'll feel better about life. Oh, that's wild though. Secret intelligence team at McDonald's. Wild stuff. You ever wonder what it's like? And I'm sure you haven't until this very moment right now. You ever wonder what it's like being named Rona in the time of Rona? BuzzFeed News decided to do a story on this because apparently they're running out of stories to tell. The story goes as this: they were given the name Rona at birth. Now, thanks to the coronavirus slang, it means something very different. The story goes, she had turned up for a COVID-19 test at a clinic in Washington, D.C. when the staff finally called her up for her appointment. They asked me my name, and I said, "I'm Rona," said Rona Hoang, who's 30 years old. And they said, "No, we know why you're here for a COVID test. What's your name?" And she was like, "No, my name is Rona." Everyone was kind of chuckling, and she was genuinely laughing along with them. But when I left, there was part of me that was like, shouldn't I be mad? I don't know. I think your name is Rona. Imagine that. What an asshole parent would you be like if you have a kid now? It's like, I'm going to name my kid Rona. You got to wonder, like, they come up with that year-end baby list, you know? Like the most popular names of the year. I feel like Rona's going to crack that. Here's what you had. You had a lot of people trapped inside looking to pass the time. Sometimes passing the time includes things that can create babies, right? Sometimes. You know, there's nothing else to do. Watched all the old Frasier episodes. What do you want to do, babe? Like, oh shit, we're pregnant. Name the kid Rona. It's got to make the list. Like, I don't know. Is the list out? We should find if the list is out. We'll look it up and see if the list is out for most popular baby names of 2020. Well, I guess in March. Yeah, they'd be right about now. In January, right about now. I guess depending how long you were in lockdown or safer at home, whatever the bullshit was at the time. So you may have to wait till like the 2020, the 2021 list comes out. Most popular baby names of 2021. If you consider March through, January or through December. C-Dubs on the tube. It's happening. Yeah. I can imagine that. What's your name? Rona? Really? Is it? Yeah, it is. This was a crazy story that came out today, too. Lady Gaga's dog walker was shot and critically wounded, and her 2 French bulldogs were stolen. Did you hear about this? The story comes from People magazine. Lady Gaga's dog walker shot and hospitalized and in critical condition, and 2 of her French bulldogs stolen during a Wednesday night robbery, People confirms. The Los Angeles Police Department spokesperson tells People the robbery occurred at 9:40 Wednesday night on Sierra Bonita Avenue in Hollywood, during which 2 French bulldogs were stolen. The male victim was transported to the hospital, currently in critical condition. At least one shooter, described as a male who used a semi-automatic handgun, was seen leaving the vehicle and going northbound towards Hollywood Boulevard. The LAPD's robbery homicide division has taken over the case. A rep for Gaga, who is currently in Italy, confirms the victim was the singer's dog walker and the 2 dogs were her French bulldogs, Koji and Gustav. The rep also confirms that Gaga is offering a $500,000 reward for information about the dogs. For those with information on the case, should email kojiandgustav@gmail.com. I feel like Gaga can afford like an @Gaga, right? Like, do you really bust out a free Gmail account? Like, you got $500,000 for the return of your dogs, and hopefully they capture the person who shot your dog walker. But you going Gmail? Come on. It's like $6 extra a month you can get at whateveryouwant.com. I'd have gone with that. That's crazy, though. Just walking the dogs. And dogs are crazy. Like, especially you get into that expensive dog habit, which I was in for a while, not by choice. I had a Frenchie, $3,500 dog, shipped from Southern California, which is cool. I like Delta Airlines has like a dog transport space on some of their airplanes, and they have like their own flight attendant and stuff, which is kind of cool, but still, it's weird. Like, the dog had a layover in San Francisco. It's weird. Let him out to go potty. It's crazy. But you start getting into that, and the breeder I was in contact with was like, we have them chipped and tattooed, so they get like a tattoo on their inner thigh as an identifying mark. Like, give me the rundown. Like, and I've had bulldogs, I've had German shepherds, boxers throughout my life, Old English bulldog at one point, and so I get it. But when you start dealing with those higher end dogs, they're like, don't leave it outside, unwatched, in a place you can't see them, because people will just fucking walk by and take your dog because they know they can get a couple $1,000s for that animal online or whatever. You get it farther enough away. I mean, they got the chip, but it's weird. But to shoot somebody over it, like, come on, man. Maybe the dog walker didn't want to give them up. It's like, these are Gaga's dogs. That's just wild. I'm sure her dogs may have been more expensive than that one, but I'm not sure. It's wild, though. Yeah. Crazy. The dog world. It's a crazy thing. All right, let's find a story to wrap up on here, and we'll talk about tomorrow's show. We'll talk about next week. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up next week. It's action-packed. It's actually growing as we're talking here. The show is growing. Getting messages back. People want to be on the show. Excited, man. Excited. What do you want to end with here? Where should we go? I feel like we should do something lighter, something a little bit less than being shot over your dogs. And then we talked about the Coca-Cola thing. We'll talk about Monopoly tomorrow. I think that's just wild. But here's something that I've always, and maybe you have too, always kind of had an inclining into, because it just kind of feels like he's a little snarky. But according to Vice, Pat Sajak is and always has been a dick. Pat Sajak, Wheel of Fortune. He's been on the show for like 4,000 years. I mean, since the wheel was invented, he was there. Like, we should spin that shit. I'm kidding. It hasn't been that long. That was a joke. No? All right, cool. A longtime Wheel of Fortune host is facing criticism this week after he seemed to imitate a contestant's speech impediment. Can't be doing that, Pat Sajak. Can't be doing that stuff. At the time of this writing, again, the story from Vice, Pat Sajak's Twitter account only has a dozen tweets, and they're all kind of empty, boring people, paint signs to hang up their equal boring kitchens. Yeah, it's whatever. Lame. He hasn't typed anything in over a week, and his most recent post is a 26-word fish shake at the direction of Schadenfreude. Anyway, can we just get to the point here? I mean, here's what I hate about people that write stories. Get to the fucking point. People got things to do. Anyway, here we go into the actual meat and potatoes of the thing. Longtime Wheel of Fortune host is facing criticism this week after he seemed to imitate a contestant who has a speech impediment. During Monday's episode of the show, Sajak turned to Chris Brimble, who appeared to speak with a slight lisp, When responding to Brimble, Sajak said, "I thee" instead of "I see," which is kind of a dick move you'd expect from an 8-year-old playground bully, not a 74-year-old who reportedly makes $15 million a year to pretend he's excited every time someone asks for an H. Okay, that was funny. That makes up for the stupidity of writing 4 paragraphs of nonsense before you got to the actual meat and potatoes of the story. Sajak has been roundly dragged on social media ever since the episode aired. As someone with a lisp, don't do this, ever, as one woman tweeted. We might ignore you or laugh it off at the time, but holy crap, how about some tact? Others called him an arrogant, overpaid jerk and wondered whether he was purposefully trying to get fired. This isn't the first time that some of Sajak's on-screen comments have been scrutinized, but this seems different. Literally imitating a contestant to his face is personal and gross, and it seems harder to shrug off than other recent examples of his saltiness. During a strange 10-day stretch last fall, Sajak chastised a contestant for interrupting while he read a promo for Dick's Sporting Goods and told another to stop making sound effects after he let out a celebratory yelp. He was also called another ungrateful for suggesting the use of the term kitchen oven in a puzzle seemed redundant. You won. Don't argue, Sajak shouted. You got the puzzle. Ungrateful players. I've had it. Okay. Let's see. All right. So Sajak's been on the show for like 40 years, something like that. Not since the wheel was invented, but close. And like when they're filming, it's not like they do one episode a day. They do like 20, right? 20 episodes, and they do 20 episodes the next day. Then they go to fucking Disney World. Then he's going to hang out with Vanna White, and he's like, oh my God. Like, he's probably really tired of his gig, you know? Probably really tired of it. Being excited for people, like, yay, you want some money? Oh, you want a trip? Oh, you didn't win the car. That kind of redundancy for that long, and then having to do it like 20 times a day. And let's be honest here. Okay, the lisp thing, yeah, don't do that. Like, that's not cool. Don't make fun of people who have lisps. I just want to make sure I got that out right. But there's a lot of morons in the world, right? Like, we can all agree on that. Like, if there's 100% of the population, 1% is morons. Like, some of them have been on Wheel of Fortune before, and he's had to deal with them. You're like, oh my God. Just trying to read this Dick's Sporting Goods promo, man. Just shut it. He's 74. He's old. It's crass. He's like, yeah, he makes $15 million a year. But of course, people jump on that like he's just overpaid jerk. Like that person should be doing Wheel of Fortune. Maybe you should jump in the chair for a while and see if you're not like just completely bombarded by idiots. Like, oh, why did I decide this is my life's path? Oh yeah, $15 million a year. That's right. Okay, I'll be nice to everybody again. So yeah, so the lisp thing, that's kind of a dick move, but dude, people just need a reason to be mad. Yeah. They're winning money. Shut your face. All right. That'll about do it for the chaos on today's show. Thanks to everybody who was tuned in, Facebook Live, on YouTube, on Twitch. Appreciate it. Make sure you jump on the Patreon. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff. Let me just drop this in the comments here. Join us on Patreon. A bunch of cool stuff coming out there as well. You'll get first news of the guests tomorrow, as the patrons know, because they were informed first. They actually found out this morning. My good buddy, Matt Daniels, Royalty Health and Fitness, is going to be on the program, former bassist of Shallow Side. Been in a bunch of bands, and then decided to go into fitness, and he's just killing it. Just killing it. Even during COVID, he's killing it. So Matthew Daniels is going to be on the program coming up tomorrow afternoon, just after 5 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you join in and go check out Matt Daniels on all the social medias. He's he's after it, and can't wait to chat with him about how he's keeping it up, how he's keeping up the workouts and the energy and the supplements and all the good stuff during COVID. I know he's just tearing it up, and I see his videos on there, and I'm like, damn, I'm lazy. Like, then I go do something creative, and I'm like, I feel like I was productive today. But he's getting after it. So tomorrow, Matt Daniels will be on the program. Next week, we got a shit ton of guests lined up. We're getting more added as we get through the week, and through the weekend, we'll have even more. If you want to know who's going to be on and what time, join the Patreon. The link, again, is in all of the comment sections on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. So jump on that, pick a tier. We're shooting everything out to everybody right now. And then eventually we'll have even more stuff coming. We're working on some merch. We got some merch stuff coming. Pretty cool. So make sure you check that out. Until we meet again, make sure you take care of yourselves and take care of one another. Joe knows. There you go, Joe. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow, 5 p.m. on a Friday. Get you set for that weekend. So until then,